Oh, you're so good.
Yeah, my little buddy right here, she's my partner. I accepted everything that she had to offer because it was nothing but love. You know, I have a lot of love for her too.
These days, life is a lot simpler for Joe also.
She just brings me right down to, it's gonna be okay, you know? It's gonna be okay.
It's a far cry from life on the battlefield for this former soldier, a life he had to give up after serving more than 30 years.
That was my life, and you get used to living that kind of life, and then all of a sudden, you're a civilian again, and it takes some getting used to.
The year was 2005, and Joe, a soldier with the Connecticut Army National Guard's 143rd Area Support, had just returned home after a year-long tour in Iraq.
And we were successful in our mission, and everybody felt good and like heroes.
But his return home proved bittersweet. Soon after, things began to change.
I was getting headaches, terrible, terrible headaches.
Fast forward to 2010.
And they kept getting worse and worse.
Joe was now on a mission of a different kind to find a cure.
Oh, they're horrible. I'd have to get under my covers in bed, and I couldn't take any light. You know, I had no noise. I just wanted to hide in the dark.
After years of suffering, Joe was referred to Dr. Tessima, an ear, nose, and throat surgeon. It was a visit that would change his life.
Like every sinus patient that comes into the office, we put a camera in the nose and evaluate these patients. And while that evaluation was happening, I did encounter this large tumor.
An MRI would later confirm the unthinkable. Joe was diagnosed with an esthesio-neuroblastoma, a malignant tumor that was growing at the base of his skull, pressing against his brain.
It was scary. You know, I have to say it was scary. It affected my family just as much as it affected me. We were all in it together.
This steadfast soldier was suddenly thrust into a battle of a personal kind, the fight for his very own life.
I basically, pardon the expression, I went through hell.
In the blink of an eye, Joe was on the operating table at Hartford Hospital, surrounded by a team of specialists, led by Dr. Tessima and his partner, neurosurgeon Dr. Paul Schwartz.
It was an extremely malignant, extremely aggressive tumor that we had to get out just as soon as we possibly could.
Together, both surgeons operated on Joe for 17 hours.
It's painstaking, delicate work because right above where we're working is the brain and all the blood vessels feeding the brain, and we have to avoid those at all costs.
And that meant the team would take a rather unconventional approach to safely access the tumor. They would operate and remove it just one way, through the nose.
It's a highly specialized procedure.
In the end, the surgery was a success.
Couldn't do anything without this man. Couldn't do anything without this man.
Biggest part of this surgery is the trust that you have in the person next to you.
Today, nearly 7 years later, it seems this soldier has won his personal war.
I just used my military experience based on that mission thinking, and next thing you know, I was free.
This is a soldier that fought for our country, put his life on the line.
What you doing?
Seeing Joe today is thrilling. I mean, here's a guy that, had he not had the treatments that he had, wouldn't be with us.
I believe those guys saved my life. I really do.